I have a dream, okay? I have a vision. And my vision will be that one day psychic abilities are actually treated like a normal job. And people will stop scamming others. And finally science will prove that psychic abilities are real, they are legit, and actually people get trained and they can become professional about it. Because otherwise we live in an ocean of anybody can claim psychic abilities, anybody can say whatever they want, and people eventually end up confused. And if you're still interested about this video and want some priceless advice if you are a psychic or have a psychic business, well, just keep on watching. Alright, so I know there is this saying in the New Age community, everybody can have psychic abilities and everybody therefore can do this, but the reality of the story is that as creatures, as human creatures, yes, we have the potential to access our own intuition and therefore to activate our psychic abilities, but according to our experience, sometimes psychic abilities can be even activated if you take drugs or hallucination, or if you had very toxic or very hard experiences. And the way you probably will go on about having the psychic abilities and treat it with other people will depend on the way you behave, your commitment to your spiritual path, and your own persona in general. So it's not that people cannot tap into a personal intuition. I actually always tell to people, you should tap into your intuition, you should do meditation, you should become the master of your own reality. But one thing is to have intuition for yourself and listening to yourself, which we all can do and all of us should do actually. And another thing is to become a professional and to give advice for others that can potentially change their lives. It's very complicated and it takes a level of responsibility that is higher than just giving suggestion to yourself, really. And that is why there is a difference between being psychic and just do it for yourself, or tapping into your own knowing and intuition and learning how to do that. And there is a difference between being a professional and giving advice to others, like I was saying before. It's like for saying you are somebody that it's a nurse or you are a surgeon and a doctor. It's quite different. It's not the same thing. Or for example, you could have studied biology or medicine even, but that doesn't really qualify you as a doctor in and of itself unless you went to some sort of training and you are not part of that hospital and you're not working, you don't have experience with people. So that is the way I think psychic abilities should be treated out there. Otherwise, anybody could claim psychic abilities, anybody could give suggestion to others, but that doesn't mean that they will be accurate, effective, or treated with responsibility. And this is the reason why I wanted to make this video, and I want to give you some priceless advice in case you want to have a psychic business or in case you want to become a professional at this job. Now, for those of you guys who don't know me, hello, my name is Virginia, or Nea, however you want to call me is the same. I like both names. My channel is called Nea Visions, and I have been practicing tarot and I have been having psychic abilities since I was a child. My mom as well, she trained me in this, and I've been working with people for a decade, even before having the YouTube channel, because I was doing for free readings for others constantly, and I was constantly training. And then for 2 years of the YouTube channel and having this business, I have learned a few things here and there that I want to share with you all who might want to have a psychic business, or you probably have a psychic business. If you want to learn, by the way, tarot and some of this advice and even how to manifest with tarot, I have an e-course down below, so check it out if you want to. And it's my genuine interpretation of the tarot with 10 years or more of experience, okay? So with that being said, the first thing that I will suggest you for psychic as a priceless advice, it's rule number 1, become responsible. What does it mean to become responsible? It means that even if you are the most empathic person in the world, even if you are the most genuine psychic in the world, you have to learn how to ground yourself, and you have to learn how to give advice in a grounded way. Because it's not because you see things in the card that tells a person to say to leave someone that you have to necessarily say it. You have to learn how to tune into others people's vibration and analyze who you have in front of you. Is the person in front of you a weaker soul, which doesn't mean that it's worse or better than another, it's simply a fact. If that is the case, you need to learn how to not project your style, to not project your issues into this other person, to be really of service and analyze what is the best thing for this individual. How can I heal with this individual with the information that I am gathering? Is this person strong that can handle the information, or is this person more weak and maybe it needs one more or two session, or maybe in one session it needs a gentle way of expressing the reality that this person might have fallen for a toxic relationship, a toxic job, or anything along those lines. So the first rule is to become responsible, and in order to become responsible as a psychic, you must practice groundness and healthy boundaries. What does it mean to practice in actuality boundaries and groundness? It means that you have to, in my opinion, of course, live a certain lifestyle. Therefore, like I said before, you can have psychic abilities even if you have the most rock and roll wild style in the world, and potentially even damaging yourself. But the vibration that you're gonna attract by that, and usually your state of mind, will potentially damage other people, because even if you want to help others and you do have psychic abilities, because you're wounded on the inside, most likely you're not going to be able to be grounded. Does that mean that you have to be perfect in order to give advice to others and read other people? Absolutely not. Nobody needs to be an ascended master in order to do that. But I saw in my career, and I saw too many times, too many psychic projecting their own issue into another person's reading. That's not acceptable, and these people should heal and train before they do any sort of projection. I'm sorry if I sound very harsh, but imagine the same situation if you were a doctor and you are actually need to heal another person. So practicing groundness means that you might want to explore yoga, you might want to explore meditation, you might want to explore, before any reading, resolving your own issues first and not depleting your energy. When it comes down to healthy boundaries, I suggest you to not give relationship advice unless you are stable in your own relationship, because right now, especially in 2020, we live in a reality where people want to see that you are the real deal. People want to see that you gotta figure it out before you give them advice. And I'm sorry, this is the harsh reality. Now, I know people that have messed up relationship and they give advice, but you have to see, are their advice actually working for them, and are they working for you? That doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. You just have to be honest with yourself and create some healthy boundaries even with your clients. Healthy boundaries doesn't mean that you're not doing a work of service for others, but it means that you're not depleting your energy. And it's something that I had to go through as well. So for example, if you have a business, how much is that you can give to others? Realistically, how many readings can you give to others in a day? And write it down. I can give maximum 10 readings in a day. I can give maximum 2 readings in a day. Healthy boundaries means that you can say yes to yourself and no to others once in a while, because the reality of the story that as a psychic, you have a battery, which is your human body, and like a mobile phone, like a computer, like this camera that I'm recording, when the battery is off, it's simply off. You gotta recharge it. So let's be realistic. You're not Wonder Woman or Superman, and it is okay not to be perfect. Therefore, allow yourself to say yes to yourself and to know when it's the time to recharge your battery. If you are feeling in a messed up situation with your career or with relationship, and you feel that perhaps you might project this thing into your reading for others, it is okay to say no and give other people another service for a while, so you will benefit the whole and also yourself. And it is okay to have a healthy level of skepticism when it comes down to your readings. which is the point number 1 of groundness. So a practical example of groundness and healthy boundaries for a psychic will be, before you are able to give readings to others, try to do readings for yourself, writing down in a journal and see, are my readings coming true? Is what I said about myself coming true in the long run? Or if you don't want to do it with yourself, do it with a few clients and see in the long run, track it down whether or not your intuition and your vibration was grounded enough to give accurate and responsible messages for others. In that way, you will test your abilities and you will be able to give a service that, in my opinion, it's much better and much responsible. Now, coming to the same point number 1, groundedness and healthy boundaries, when it comes down to a business, this is very important. Why? Because I have noticed that there is a tendency for people to overload themselves with readings and then deliver them in a month or in weeks, and then also complain about it because they're tired. There's nobody more than me that understands how much draining it can be to do private readings or to deliver a service in general. I have been hospitalized for a not mental breakdown where I was going nuts or hopeless. It was a physical exhaustion. Like, I literally fainted during readings more than one time the first year that I started to have this business. Why does that happen? Because I was taking much more that I could handle with my body. I always deliver on time, but at the same time I was really killing my body and myself with overwork. So what I learned about this experience is to be honest with myself and my business. How many readings can I gather in a day? What I can do realistically in a day, it's max to 10 readings, max. Otherwise, my body will literally break down and I will have excruciating pain and headaches. When I can, I potentially do 2 readings in a day, maximum 3. That would be the perfect spot and sweet spot for me. Everybody has their own energy and their own thing, so allow yourself to become authentic. You might even improve if you become authentic, and see how much can you realistically give to the world. And according to that, you set on the prices for your business, and you also set up on a date and delivery that people should expect. Point number 2, why is it important as a psychic to be clear with people? Because imagine the reversed situation. Clear communication is essential as a psychic, not only for the point number 1 of a responsibility and healthy boundaries, but because the client has some issues that is presenting to yourself for the most part. And even people that are curious, they are investing their money and they are trusting you as a psychic. Therefore, especially right now in 2020, the energies are changing. We need new ways of reading the energy, and we need to be faster in our approaches, because the problem of person number A and B right now in the present moment probably won't be the same in 2 weeks or in a month. And I am sorry, I know many psychics don't want to hear this because they want more time, but this is the reality of the story. You might deal with people who really have a relationship problem today. You might dealing with people that have a job problem today. You cannot deliver readings in 2 weeks or a month. It's unrealistic and, in my opinion, irresponsible, unless you are telling the client about this. So clear communication as a psychic and as a business is incredibly important. Therefore, see how much energy can you gather. If you can do only 2 readings a day, that is perfectly fine. Therefore, allow in your shop and in your service to have a determined type of readings and number of readings. Once that is figured out, do not worry about it, because you're being honest, the universe will provide. And before the clients is actually purchasing your reading, they need to know how much is going to be the reading. They need to know how long are you going to deliver the reading, because they're investing their money, and it's very, very important to say that. And they need to know how much time are they going to wait before they get their reading. This is important because their needs have to be met, since they're investing in your trust. And as a suggestion for a business, I will also clearly demand from psychic. If I will have psychic under me in a business and a bigger business, I will ask them to do this. If you're investing your money into something, let's say you're buying something on Etsy, like a t-shirt or a product, you want the person that is handling the shop to give you a welcome email, to give you something that says, hey, I received the reading, I received your money are safe, you can be refunded up until this point, up until I do the reading. Do not worry about it. This is how the reading works. This is how the reading is gonna get delivered, and this is what you're gonna get for the money that you have invested on me. This is a responsible way and a clear way to communicate with others so people can trust you in the long term. And also, in clear communication, it is very important, and this is less of a business and more an advice for psychics while you're doing the reading, that you explain these points again during the reading so the clients can trust you 100%. You look professional and responsible. And in the clear communication, it's very important that you give advice during your readings. The responsible psychic, I even said it in my pick a card addiction, will never just bluntly say the things that sees in the card. You must train yourself, go maybe to a spiritual teacher, work and study in order to become a better healer for others and give them effective advice. You might want to suggest books that they can read for free. You might want to suggest videos they can see for free. You need to suggest anything. And if you have cases of people who are highly depressed or cases of people who actually could be in danger, I highly suggest you to reject their reading or take the reading, not giving psychic advice that will hurt them, and advise them to go to a professional who can actually heal their problems. Why? Point number 3, become realistic. Point number 3, become realistic about psychic ability. Psychic abilities are a guidance from spirit, but psychic abilities are still seen as an entertainment tool. Therefore, this point has to be taken seriously in the sense that you can only give entertainment and guidance broadly at large to a larger public. You are not a certified psychologist, you are not a certified psychiatrist, you are not a certified counselor unless you are. Therefore, if you're none of these things, you must advise people some background or something where they can find a bigger and more important help than just a psychic reading. So in that sense, I believe psychic need to become very responsible, and also, if you may, take themselves a little bit less seriously, because when we're talking about people's life has to be taken seriously, but your importance as a psychic a little bit less. In the sense, what do I mean by that? This might sound contradictory. You are giving guidance. Guidance is broad, but the decision is them. You cannot, unless you're certified, give psychological or psychic treatment to others. That's a big no, and I will highly not suggest this to do to anybody. So this is also, I think all of this video, it's about responsibility in my opinion. Then, point number 4, how to deal with complaints or how to deal with people are stressing you out for getting a reading. Again, become authentic and honest with others. You need to tell them, for example, it could happen that in a day or two you might skip a day from delivering the reading. Well, message your client, let them know, I am so sorry, I have been very busy. Your reading is getting delivered tomorrow. Your reading is getting delivered in 2 days. I saw too many psychic not caring about this aspect and being completely irresponsible. You are playing with people's money and with people's life in a way, so they need to have responses at the right time. Then when it comes down to videos on YouTube and pick a card addiction or things like that, I have a dedicated video about it that I highly suggest you to watch. And the approach that I think people should have as a priceless advice for psychic abilities is to be very light and to deliver psychic guidance that it's general for the larger public, specific in private readings. Why is that so? Because you do not want people to be addicted to any sort of guidance. You want people to be trained to know and to tap into their own self, into their own intuition. And this guidance has to be broad in order for them to communicate more easily with themselves. So even if you have a very high, strong gift, like for example, Edgar Cayce, 90% accuracy, you still have to treat people like they're your clients, that you have to respect them, and you have to analyze what is best for this individual, not projecting your own style to others. So for example, I highly suggest you to shine away from pick-a cards unless you do it once in a while. That has been my mistake. I completely stopped because I thought that people were becoming very addicted to them. What I think will work very good will be monthly reading. They can get in once in a month, or even teaching others how to communicate with their own intuition, their own angels. If you can give that service, that will be amazing. And when it comes down to prediction, like for example the one that I did for Sushant or things like that, I highly suggest you to always be very responsible about prediction, because the future is very fragile. It can always change, and therefore you want to deliver message in a clear and responsible way. I cannot stress this enough. Otherwise people will interpret it in the wrong way, and the way people usually interpret message is so specific to them that probably also your own words can get twisted in the process. And that is why psychic need to absolutely understand the lesson of responsibility, healthy boundaries, how to deliver readings in what time, and also be honest with their own energy so they don't get drained, they are safe in their own space, they can deliver accurate and amazing readings, and the clients can benefit from them. And I feel that this is my vision for the world. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I really hope science will go so far to prove psychic abilities, so we could distinguish from people who are genuine and people who are not. We can give rules, regulation, and this job can become a profession that is highly regarded. And you can work, maybe like my vision will be that, for example, imagine a hospital, okay? So you have the doctors who are treating people for physical problems, but you also have a section of the hospital which is holistic, and there are psychic who can read your energy and make you understand, okay, maybe this chakra or this energy, you have a block which might ultimately be like and present itself into a certain form of nausea or something like that. So before the energy can transform into a physical symptom, there is an actual psychic, an holistic doctor who can say that, and is certified, and it's working in the hospital. It doesn't have to be mocked by people. This is my vision for the world. Psychic that can work with the police to unravel unresolved cases rather than having a machine necessarily, or working even with the machine. But in order to do that, we need to become responsible. We need to treat disabilities in a scientific way, in a rigorous way, and we need to become professional in our own job. Otherwise, we will always be mocked. We will always be seen as a sham. And I had enough of seeing this sort of behaviors online. I seriously had enough, because it's because of this behavior that I got mocked for my abilities all my life. So please, if you are a psychic out there, benefit a little bit from my years of experience. Try to train yourself, ground yourself, work on your spiritual path. Be a responsible human being so you can be really a good healer that is grounded and that doesn't lead people somewhere in a fantasy imaginary world that doesn't benefit anything. And if you need to heal yourself a little bit before you do it, so it be, but then it will be better as a whole. And try to, if you do not resonate too much with astrology or with the traditional way tarot cards have been read, study more, invent your own way, invent a way that is actually benefiting the world at large. This is my hope for the future, and these are some priceless advice for psychic out there. I hope this video will make any sense. I really wanted to do it so a lot of psychic can benefit out there, since it's becoming also a trend here on YouTube. And remember guys, having psychic abilities is a gift that should be used as a service for others, not to the detriment of yourself where you're getting drained, but you really, the focus always has to be, it doesn't matter how precise or accurate my prediction can be. What do I need is thinking about the other person. What is the best for the other person? What can I do to help this person, to guide this person, to make them understand on their own and to benefit in their own life? How can I not make them become addicted to these tools? I suggest people to suggest others one reading every 6 months. Do not capitalize for greed and money on readings. You're talking with people life. Make them affordable to others. No more than $200 or $250. I have a conversion in euros, so mine are not more than 250 if I am correct, and I have to do the conversion in dollars. And this is my own style. If you can do some discounts for students, help them out, and never make them become addicted to these tools. So always advise them for better, advise them to healers, advise them to a better and larger path. We are only here to deliver some messages from spirit, which ultimately has to lead to the freedom of this individuals, not to the enslavement of individual. And we must use psychic abilities to benefit the world at large, not just to say, how does he feel about me? This is only, I know I'm very strict, I'm a Taurus, I'm very grounded, but this is my understanding from years and years of doing private readings for others. I'm not perfect, I'm not claiming to be perfect, I am just saying this is what I've learned. I'm just a girl that has done private readings for a very long time. This is my approach, and this is what I would have liked to hear from somebody more expert when I was starting this career. And I hope somebody out there and psychic can benefit from my vision and my dream to see a better reality when it comes down to this sort of abilities. Because, you know, it's like we're saying that mercury is toxic for people. It's not that people have to buy mercury and drink it and then realize later on that it's toxic. No, the government and the state and the world has thought about it because people have said it was toxic and now it's not available for drinking anymore or something like that. It's not that the client always has to discern who is legit and who is not. There needs to be some regulation, and it comes down to the responsibility of the psychic firsthand. This is my understanding of this story, and I hope you guys appreciate my effort to give you some priceless advice if you are a psychic or you want to start a psychic business. And in the meantime, with my lovely blue feather, keep in mind you're never wrong if you follow love. And see you on the next videos. Bye!